All right, let's talk about a match for the ages. This is more than just a game, you know? It's El Clásico, and there's a trophy on the line. We're talking Barcelona versus Real Madrid for the 2026 Spanish Supercopa. The stage was set for something absolutely legendary. And that really gets to the heart of this whole thing, because this wasn't just about talent against talent. Oh no, this was all about momentum clashing head-on with a really, really clever strategy. So, what happens when the team everyone expects to win runs straight into a brilliant, unexpected game plan? Okay, let's get into it.
We're gonna break this whole thing down like a 5-act play, because honestly, that's exactly what it felt like. From the second that first whistle blew, this was a tactical battle. A high-stakes chess match playing out right there on the pitch.
So let's set the stage, right? Coming into this final, you've got Barcelona. They are the clear favorites. They're flying, they're confident, and pretty much everyone expects them to just control the game. And then you've got Real Madrid. They're kind of in a tough spot, and their manager, Xabi Alonso, he knew he had to pull a rabbit out of his hat. And this was the rabbit. He went back to what the source calls the interventionist Xabi. He set up with a 5-man defense, basically a solid wall designed to do one thing and one thing only: frustrate Barcelona. See, when you're up against a team that lives on possession and tiki-taka passing, you pack the defense, you deny them any space, and you just force them to run into dead ends. The plan was to soak up all that pressure, and then bam, spring these deadly counterattacks. It was simple: resist at all costs.
And you know what? For a while, it was working. It was working perfectly. The chess match was a complete stalemate. Real Madrid's defensive wall was holding strong, Barcelona's attack was getting frustrated, and you started to wonder, hey, can this underdog plan actually pull this off? But, well, every wall has a weak point.
For 35 incredibly tense minutes, Real Madrid's structure was flawless. They were disciplined, they were organized, and they were giving Barcelona absolutely nothing. But in a game this huge, it so often comes down to just one single moment of individual magic. And there was one player who was ready to provide. And then the 36th minute hits. Just a moment after he missed a chance with his weaker right foot, Barcelona's Raphinha gets the ball again. And this time, he made no mistake. A beautiful, clinical finish with his stronger left foot sends it right across the keeper and into the back of the net. The wall was officially breached.
The source material really just nails it here. It says Raphinha was showing his great form with his arrow pointing up. It's a great way to put it. He wasn't just another player out there, he was the leader, he was the guy in red-hot form, and he had just blown Xabi Alonso's master plan wide open.
Okay, let's get to Act 3, because if the first 45 minutes were a chess match, the stoppage time was pure, unadulterated chaos. I mean, forget tactics, forget the plans. This was like watching backyard soccer on the world's biggest stage. It was wild.
Just look at this. Stoppage time was supposed to be 3 minutes, right? It ended up stretching to over 7. And in that little window, 3 goals. A strike from Madrid, an immediate answer from Barça, and then another equalizer from Madrid. It was absolutely breathtaking.
And that first goal was just pure magic from Vinícius Jr. Get this, he hadn't scored in 16 games, but he chose this moment to remind everybody who he is. He takes on Koundé, just torches him with pure speed, has the nerve to nutmeg him, blows past another defender, and slots it home. 1-1. Just an unbelievable solo goal. But Barcelona, they didn't even blink. They hit right back. Less than 2 minutes later, you get the magic of Pedri, a player they describe as pure gold with the outside of his boot, and he just unlocks the Madrid defense all over again. A perfect pass to Robert Lewandowski, who hammers it home. Just like that, it's 2-1 Barcelona. And just when you think you can finally catch your breath, the plan strikes back. From a corner kick, a header smashes against the crossbar. There's chaos everywhere, and it's Real Madrid's Gonzalo García, a guy executing Xabi's plan to perfection, who just fights for that rebound, and while he's literally falling to the ground, manages to poke the ball into the net. 2-2 at halftime. Just incredible. Okay, deep breath. After that absolute whirlwind to end the first half, the second half started, and order was restored. The game got tight again, really cagey. Both teams were clearly afraid of making that one fatal mistake. It was back to being a tactical chess match. Yeah, both defenses just locked in, chances were few and far in between. The game was crying out for a hero, for that one person to step up and just seize the moment. And wouldn't you know it, the hero of the first act was ready for an encore. His second goal, Raphinha, again, right as Kylian Mbappé was getting ready to come on for Real Madrid, Raphinha finds a pocket of space and lets one fly, and that was the decisive blow that would end up settling this unbelievable final.
But here's the twist. It was a goal with a bit of luck. The shot actually came as he was slipping, and the ball took this wicked deflection off a defender. It completely changed direction and totally wrong-footed the goalkeeper. So was it skill? Was it just pure luck? Maybe a bit of both. But in a final, all that matters is that the ball ends up in the back of the net. 3-2 Barcelona. And that right there, that was the knockout punch. That goal, with its little touch of fortune, just seemed to break Real Madrid's spirit and their resistance. The final act was now all about one thing. Could Barcelona hang on and claim their crown?
The final minutes were still completely frantic. Mbappé comes on and immediately draws a red card foul from Frenkie de Jong, so now Barcelona is down to 10 men. Real Madrid threw absolutely everything forward. They had 2 golden chances to equalize in the dying seconds, but shots from Carvajares and Asensio went straight at the keeper. It wasn't meant to be.
And so, after a tactical war, a wild flurry of goals, moments of pure genius, and a little touch of luck, the final whistle blew. 3-2. The favorites held on. FC Barcelona are the champions of the Spanish Supercopa, defending their title in what has to be one of the most memorable Clásicos we've seen in a long, long time. Which kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on, right? In a game of such razor-thin margins, what was the real difference maker? Was it the undeniable brilliance of players like Raphinha and Vinícius Jr., or is it that one single, cruel deflection, just a simple stroke of fortune that decided where the trophy went? That's something to think about.